Why did Newcastle suddenly look like an Eddie Howe team again? Yoane Wissa scored, assisted, and took the man of the match on his Champions League debut. But that's not the real story. What is it about Yoane Wissa's profile that restores Newcastle's identity? And why does it matter so much for the upcoming run of games? Now, Newcastle's identity under Eddie Howe starts off the ball. And this game showed why the striker leading the press is so important in an Eddie Howe system. Now, fair play for trying something new, because PSV left their two centre backs alongside their goalkeeper to help build out from the back, and they left every single other player in their team in our half. But all this did was give us so much space to exploit if we won the ball. We won the ball 7 times in the attacking third, and the game plan might not have worked if it wasn't for Yoane Wissa. Now, Woltemade has done well this season, but there's one trait that he just doesn't have, and that's pace. The speed and anticipation of Yoane Wissa's press caused both errors for the opening 2 goals. You can see Yoane Wissa already starting to make a move to go and press the goalkeeper before the defender has even made the pass, and halfway to the pass reaching the goalkeeper, you can see the amount of yards that he's made up and the amount of pressure that he's putting onto the goalkeeper as well. Now, you might think this is nothing, but the speed difference between Woltemade and Wissa might have led to a different scenario in this situation. But instead, the goalkeeper fluffs the kick. It's a lovely first touch and a quick pass out to Joelinton in behind that defensive line, and he squares it for Yoane Wissa to tap in. It's the difference in the speed, because this mistake again might not happen if it's Woltemade that's initiating the press. Now, like I said, it's a terrible mistake from the defender, but look at the amount of yards that Yoane Wissa makes as the defender's about to make that pass, and the little bit of athleticism, that a burst of acceleration again after he previously slowed down once he realizes the mistake the defender makes, and then the athleticism again to just dive in front of him and scoop this pass out to Anthony Gordon is so good. So you can see just how vital Yoane Wissa was to the opening 2 goals. But it's not only about what Wissa does off the ball. His style of play is the exact type of striker that Eddie Howe loves in his team, and it opens up the conversation of Woltemade versus Wissa. Now, the question isn't about whether Woltemade is a good player. It's that Newcastle have to become a different team to get the best out of him. If we compare the movement radars from Woltemade at Stuttgart to Wissa at Brentford, you can see just how different their off-ball movement is. There's 3 movements in particular that you have to pay attention to. That's their runs in behind, the runs ahead of the ball, and the cross receiver. Yoane Wissa is always looking to threaten that back line, and it unsettles the defenses. And so the issue is simple. It's not only about changing strikers, we change our identity depending on who plays. When you look at Woltemade, the key thing is that he loves to drop short and help link play. A lot of people I keep calling him a number 10. He's not. He's just a false 9 that's 6'6". And so to play with Woltemade, when he drops into these little half spaces and draws out the centre backs, you need players making those runs in beyond him. You need the wingers not just hugging the touchline like we do in Eddie Howe's system. You need them moving inside and being ready to pounce in behind that space that he's left behind. And you can see from this just how central everyone is, and that's what Woltemade likes. Lots of players to help link with, but it goes totally against how Eddie Howe teams play. When we drop Yoane Wissa as the focal point of the team, it's different. He's not always looking to drop in, although he does do it to a decent enough level. He's looking to threaten that back line. So when the likes of Bruno Guimaraes gets the ball, and you think about how he likes to penetrate, especially through the lines and in behind the opposition, he's getting his head up and he knows what he gets from Yoane Wissa. How many times have we seen it already in only about a month or 2 of play, with Wissa making that run in behind and Bruno Guimaraes being the one to play that ball in behind as well? And not only that, as Yoane Wissa makes these runs in behind, it forces the back line backwards, and that gives the midfielders and the wingers space to operate in behind that midfield line. And as a result, you get 2 different focal points depending on which striker plays, and that changes the movement of the other players around it. And I can hear you all now shouting at the screen, why don't we play both of them together? Because there's one less midfielder on the pitch, there's more space for Woltemade to drop into, especially from that high position, drawing out centre-backs into these little half spaces. You have Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali playing as a double pivot, which suits probably both of their skill sets quite well. And then you had the likes of Yoane Wissa as Woltemade draws out a centre back. Yoane Wissa can make that third man running behind. And when Woltemade sets the ball back to any one of the midfielders, they can play that through ball in behind to Yoane Wissa in the space that's been left behind. But Eddie Howe just doesn't like this system. He said as much in that post-match interview after the Bournemouth game. And maybe he's waiting for Willisula to come back to be able to rotate his strikers and prevent any injuries happening with Woltemade and Wissa. But if we're talking about a single striker system, Woltemade is actually the best long-term option. It's the style of play that we need to evolve to take us to the next level. However, right now, Yoane Wissa allows us to play like a typical Eddie Howe team. And it's that running in behind that led to the third goal. As Harvey Barnes picks up this second ball, you can see Yoane Wissa occupying the centre back. And his first thought is to make that little dart in behind. Not only to receive the ball, but the secondary benefit is that it opens up space for other players to move into, whether that's with runs off the ball or carrying the ball themselves. And that's exactly what Harvey Barnes does. Beautiful touch and take, and then that drive away from the defender to exploit that space in behind, and then a beautiful finish with his left foot. But he also had that chance to make it 4-0, and again, it comes with that off-ball movement in behind. And you can see Kieran Trippier on the ball, Miley with a lovely run into that right channel from that single pivot. Lovely ball by Trippier, but keep an eye on Yoane Wissa. Again, he's not thinking about dropping deep into the left half space and trying to take players out of the game. His first thought is stay central and running behind when the opportunity arrives. And that's exactly what he does when Miley picks up this ball. He spots the run of Barnes in that right half space, and then he makes that same run again between the middle of the goalpost to be in the right position if the cross comes in. The ball from Miley's lovely. The ball from Harvey Barnes is lovely. You could argue a tad over hit. Could be weighted a tiny bit better. Yoane Wissa, again, you see him on that last line. The defender can't intercept the ball, and it's just unlucky. He doesn't quite sort his sort of stride length out as he approaches the ball. It's with his weaker left foot, and again, when he gets match fit, these are the kind of chances that he'll be tucking away. And so you can see how Yoane Wissa's runs not only help himself get goals, but help others in the team get goals as well. And Wissa actually came in for quite a lot of flack after that Man City game. You can see a tweet that I actually put out soon after that game. I had no worries about Yoane Wissa. You have to take into account the context of the season. No pre-season. He missed the first 3 months of the season as well, and he's back to playing 2 games a week. He's getting in the right positions. That is all you want from your striker. They are not going to take every chance that comes along. And as soon as he gets that match sharpness, he'll score so many more goals as long as we keep creating these situations for him. And when you look at the upcoming run of games, Yoane Wissa's return to form comes at the perfect time. We're about to enter a run of games that not only includes tough teams, but away games. And although the opposition looks tough, they come against teams that love to dominate the ball, just like PSV wanted to do against us last night, and that suits us perfectly. There'll be space to exploit on the counter-attack, and there'll be opportunities for us to see that Eddie Howe high press in action. But we have to be careful with what games we use Woltemade and what games we use Wissa in. I'm looking at games where you probably want to dominate the ball a bit more. The likes of Aston Villa at home this weekend, the likes of Brentford at home, Tottenham away, even Everton and Man United at home, and Sunderland at home in the derby. They're the kind of games that you probably want to see a bit more of Woltemade and give Wissa a rest. But when you're looking at Paris Saint-Germain, Liverpool away, the likes of their high lines that we can exploit, this is the kind of situation where you probably want to see a bit more of Yoane Wissa. And that's because Yoane Wissa allows us to play the Eddie Howe way. But there's a caveat here, because PSV play the exact type of game that we want. Check out this analysis on why we struggle so much against low blocks and how Eddie Howe can fix it. And you, yes you've been watching my videos over and over again without subscribing. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button to really support this channel.